So I was watching the 6-Star podcast live a couple weeks ago, and while watching, a question came up.
What's one thing you don't want in GTA 6?
And me being there, I answered with one simple word: businesses. I didn't think that was a hot take until one such person replied to that comment simply saying, businesses is crazy. The reality that I have is that businesses are awful. And to me, businesses are the biggest factor that made GTA Online a lot less fun of a game. And since I genuinely don't want to see them return in GTA 6, I decided I would explain what makes them so detrimental to the game and why Rockstar's greed around GTA Online was only possible because of businesses. But before we start, are you looking for something to do other than grind your business all day? Then you should definitely consider checking out today's sponsor, Grand Roleplay. Grand RP has a ton of players, a developed system of factions, a huge fleet of cars, a bunch of cool clothes that can all be obtained in this massive server. And most importantly, you can start playing completely free in just a few clicks. Follow the link in the description to the project website, fill out all the fields, and create your character. Registering through the website will also earn you one of 3 premium cars to choose from when you start playing. But you can also register through the game directly as well, and it's super simple. Just don't forget to use my ID Jetro in the special field, which will give you a nice bonus in the form of game currency and VIP status to help you start out. And definitely make sure to check out the new Battle Pass as well, which opens access to exclusive rewards and content, making the game even more exciting. Again, make sure to check out Grand RP with the link in the description and use my ID Jetro when signing up for extra bonuses. Thank you to Grand RP for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to it. Now, over the last few years, I have had a ton of criticisms about GTA Online, GTA Plus, not getting enough single-player DLC, Mr. Boss's channel as a whole, etc. But one thing that I have never really touched on is my absolute hatred for businesses. Forget Grand Theft Auto, okay? GTA Online has now become Grand Business Owner, to the point where people have written articles like 5 ways GTA 5 Online made me a smarter entrepreneur, which if you're taking business tips from GTA 5, you're probably looking at life in prison. Now, I have to be honest when making this video. I have not directly played every single business in the game. I tried to go and play every single one to give some sort of leeway to these businesses and hope that there was some redeeming factor about them, but I ran into an immediate problem, that every single business costs a ridiculous amount of money to even start. And this perfectly sets up my first point, the grind. Businesses were Rockstar's genius way of getting people into the world of solo grinding. Yes, having money in GTA Online is crucial, no one denies that, but before businesses, people had to just grind out missions with friends in order to buy whatever they wanted. Now though, businesses has turned the entire game into an endless grind with no real goal for most players. In 2025, the game is the grind to some people now, and the way Rockstar got people into this mindset is kind of genius in a terrifying way. With every new business they release, Rockstar adds a barrier of entry in order to start the business. This then puts you into the mindset of the business being an investment to one day get your money back. So once you've paid the $3+ million in order to set it up, you then have to grind to make that money back. But once you've made the investment back, players then feel the need to grind to make profit in order for the business to actually be worth it. And the more you grind, the more worth it the business was. This is the reason that you can find countless people who have earned over $200 million in a game that doesn't require you to have that much. These people now just see the game as a grinding simulator rather than the open sandbox it's supposed to be. Seeing comments of people who say they feel broke if they have less than 50 mil in their bank makes me question what Rockstar has done to these poor souls. Because with that much, you could still buy everything in the next update and have some left over, but they just keep grinding for more. Because a lot of these players, once they hit their goal of $100 million or whatever it may be, those same players go right back to grinding once again, because that's what Rockstar has based the entire game around at this point. Like personally, my favorite thing to do in GTA Online is race, and I remember in like 2016, we used to easily be able to put together 16-player lobbies on a daily basis. But now I can't even find a race whenever I want to play, and it's because everyone just says that they don't make enough money, so they don't do them unless they have a 2x bonus. Players have stopped doing whatever is fun to them and now only focus on what makes them the most money. And if you're a new player, I can understand that, but when I see people with $200 million grinding away every day, I know that those are Rockstar's ideal players. And now, some people may say that grinding is fun for them, and to that I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because you have been brainwashed by Rockstar. Okay, business missions are not fun, and they're not even designed to be fun, and I'll tell you why. If Rockstar had actually designed them to be the most fun and the most engaging content possible, then Rockstar wouldn't make missions take place 500 miles away from wherever your bunker, hangar, or business is located. Rockstar makes you drive a ridiculous distance in order for you to complete the task because they are trying to maximize your game time. They want your grind for money to take as long as possible to get you to consider buying shark cards. It's literally as simple as that. Not only that, but if they were designed with having fun in mind, then Rockstar would innovate with each business on what the task entails, but they don't. That's why when people look up guides, they don't search which business is the most fun, they all ask which business makes the most money, because they are all essentially the same thing. It's terrible game design. Rockstar put no effort into making these missions fun, which could add more diversity to these businesses, but they just want you to play as long as possible, and that's their only motivation. Most businesses follow the exact same premise. Buy a property, pick up supplies, bring it back, wait till the inventory is full, deliver it somewhere, and repeat. It's all just tedious, repetitive work these players are completing in order to make the most money possible while having the least amount of fun. It's no different from working a real job. They try to hide these businesses under the disguise of you doing some insanely illegal work to make it fit with a GTA game. But you could easily change out your bunker for something like a Toyota factory or an Amazon warehouse, and it's the exact same. You pick up or get delivered supplies, you turn those into products, and you deliver it. Actually, they just recently gave up with this with the pizza shop and the taxi service because they just ran out of ideas on how to make a completely mundane job seem illegal and cool. So they just added a few legal ones. But there's another huge problem that Rockstar created themselves that makes businesses even more insane than what I could have ever imagined. And it's the problem with griefing. I don't think most people understand how insane it is that you could spend 8 hours trying to get a full bunker supply, try to go and sell it to make your investment on the bunker back, and then have it blown up by a random player and lose everything. This is the whole reason that people have no problems grinding away in solo sessions, because they don't want people messing with them, which is completely fair. But it's the fact that this griefing can happen in the first place that is the problem. I think a lot of my frustration with businesses stems from one philosophy I've had about games for a long time now, and it's that any online game that can be more efficiently played alone is just terrible game design, and GTA Online fits perfectly into that category. Some people will make the argument that it's high risk, high reward doing your selling in a public session because of the player bonus, and it is somewhat valid, but the problem is that most people know that the risk of potentially losing everything isn't really worth the reward, so they don't even try. When I was in my grinding phase, I would load into an invite-only session when I started playing, do my grinding for the day, and get off without seeing a single person all day, which is not how an online game is supposed to be played. But I had to do that in order to save myself from the possibility of losing everything I'd worked for. And some people will say, well, oh, you used to be a grinder, so what are you complaining for? And it's because Rockstar developed the entire game over the last 8 years around having to grind. Don't get me wrong, if I could run missions and races with people and still make a decent amount of money, I would love nothing more than to do so. The problem, like I said earlier, is that doing these missions and races with other people isn't viable for two reasons. One, people just aren't doing them, and two, because Rockstar has made their value so insignificant to grinding that it's actually just a joke at this point. In the 10 minutes it takes me to do a race, I could have sourced a high-end vehicle and sold it to make an easy 80k, versus the 5 to 10k I would make from doing that race. It just doesn't make any logical sense to do so. This is why I don't really put any blame on the grinders, because this is just the way the system was built. But I blame Rockstar for making the game like this in the first place. Now, I don't want to just be complaining this whole time without coming up with some sort of solution, because to be quite frank with you, I am genuinely worried for GTA 6. Because of how much money Rockstar made from shark cards with this system, it doesn't give me hope that they will change the formula too much with GTA 6. But if I don't provide alternatives, then it will stay the exact same, and my complaining was for nothing. So I will give my solution that will not only fix the problem of tedious solo grinding, but also fix what I want, which is a much more multiplayer experience when I play. And all they have to do is scale all the regular missions to be on par with businesses. Ideally, I want them to get rid of businesses altogether. I have never really liked the idea of being a business owner in a GTA game, but if they are going to have them, then at least make it so that missions that I spend 10 to 15 minutes on should be giving me a near equivalent amount than if I was spending that time grinding a business. Unless I'm completely wrong and you can tell me in the comments, but I would be surprised to hear that if given a fair choice, most people would want to run stuff like races, missions, death matches, etc. instead of having to solo grind. But to me personally, this would fix my problem of being able to have a more cooperative experience while also being able to earn a good amount of money. We obviously don't know exactly what GTA Online is going to be like, especially with them adding Rome and possible map expansions over the years, but if it's anything like GTA 5 right now, then we will essentially be playing the same game we have for the last 8 years. But with that, we will have to wait and see. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave your thoughts down below and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace!